Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to some more Gwent the Witcher card game. Now, it's been a few days since my last video, but that's been down to mainly getting over the end of my cold and also a crippling World of Warcraft addiction, but that's for another time. Today I have for you a Scoia'Tael movement, I guess, Elves deck. Now, it's something seldom seen, and there's a reason for that. Obviously, it's not the strongest of the Scoia'Tael. Now, the strongest Scoia'Tael decks are Mulligan and Boost, in my opinion at least, and they're quite expensive cards, decks to make, because they benefit from more expensive golds and silver cards. I'm trying to make beginner decks here, so maybe in the future I'll go over a Boost or a Mulligan deck, but for now, I think this is a perfectly good starter deck, and it's relatively cheap. Now, my other beginner decks are cheaper, because in this deck, as you might have noticed straight away, I have upgraded one of the golds to Zoltan Chive. Now, the reason for this is Royal Decree is literally useless in this deck. I mean, it's useless most of the time anyway, unless you really need to pull a specific gold early on in the game or whatever. But in this deck, it's even more useless because Francesca, obviously you can target Mulligan anything you want and it boosts the unit by 3, so it's basically just a better Royal Decree at this point. I replaced it with Zoltan Chive because he just fits in with this deck. Now, the idea of this deck is going to be to play some cards and move them about, and the cards all have certain types of benefits to go alongside them to do with moving about. So, for example, we have the Blue Mountain Commandos, and these three you're going to need to craft all 3 from the beginner set. Whenever these are moved, boost them by 2. Perfect example, you'll be moving these about the board, and guess what? They're a deck thinning as well, so it's even better. Like, you can draw more useful cards. These all get played on the same turn. You can move them all around, getting points. The Hawk Healers are basic, so I've just kept both of them in the deck. Boost 2 allies by 3, just useful, to be quite honest. And they're Elves, so fits in with the synergy quite well. We have Dwarven Mercenaries, now you need to craft all 3 of these, I believe. And they move another row, a unit to another row on this side, if it's an ally boosted by 3. So while you can boost your own units and move your units and boost them, you can also move the opponents and put them in, I don't know, better positions for certain cards, maybe coming up in a second. Such as this one, the Dolblathan Marksman. Now you're going to have to craft all 3 of these as well. Every time they're moved, damage a random enemy by 2. Whenever an enemy moves to a different row, damage it by 2. So if you're moving them about, moving either him about and he's doing 2 damage a time, or moving an enemy about and you're dealing 2 damage to them a time, these can do quite a lot of damage if they're not removed, basically. Also, they have the deployability of damaging an enemy by 2, so at worst, they're a 9-point swing, right? We also have rear brigades. Now, these are good because I'm coming up against a lot of weather. Now, these guys are just useful. They clear weather from the row and then move a unit to the row. So you could move perhaps a Dolblathan Marksman. You can move one of their guys if you've got these guys out. So therefore, you're going to do a lot of damage, essentially. So that's the idea. And we also have Dolblathan Archers. Now, these are basics as well. Just left them in the deck because they're okay. I mean, they fit in with the Elf synergy quite well. We have the standard silvers, and like I said, I've changed one of the golds to Zoltan Chive just because he fits in with the whole movement thing. He can move all 3 of the Blue Mountain Commandos. They get boosted by 2 for themselves. They get boosted by, or strengthened by 2 from Zoltan Chive. You can move them out of weather. It works really well. It's really good synergy there. Now, some of the improvements I would make to this deck. Now, Cleaver gets power crept by Kieran. Kieran is just the Scoia'Tael version of Cleaver, and yeah, he's just good. Also, Dudu is rubbish, as is probably Scorch, to be honest, in this deck. Maybe even Barclay Elves. So some of the silvers you might want to consider are, now you have 2 ambush units in Morin and Teruvial. These are both just useful cards. They do work, and ultimately they're just better than the current silvers you have in this deck. The silvers that you've got in the minute will do something for you, like Barclay Elves pulls out the Dwarven Mercenaries, so it's a targeted draw. Well, I mean, he pulls out Dwarven Mercenaries or Cleaver. They're the only dwarves we have in this deck, so you're pretty sure what you're going to get with him, and if you decoy him, you've definitely got at least one of each, right? Also, you could consider having Ailerin or Roach in for more deck thin. Now, Roach is probably going to be used quite early because you can play any of these golds early on in the game, and Roach is going to get pulled. Also, Ailerin is the one with the 5 elves, as you can see on the screen, and this deck's full of elves, so that's definitely possible to trigger as well. And maybe the other silver I'd consider in this deck is Marigold's Hailstorm. With all the movement you have, you could fill up a row of Marigold's Hailstorm, and it's going to do a lot of damage. So they're the maybe 5 silver cards I'd consider. Also, for a gold change, I would change Triss Merigold for Yorveth because he's just better. Like, he's a 14-point swing as opposed to a 13 with Triss Merigold. And he's also an elf, so like it synergizes well with, say, Synthesis, and if you had to put Aileron in, also Aileron, etc. And the only other card I would potentially add is a Gerald. Now, I've not seen this card played at all. And I don't know if that's for a good reason, but he can, when combined with Doblathana Marksman's, do up to 27 damage between 3 units, so he can be really, really, really powerful. Also, the movement is obviously beneficial to the rest of your game plan. Essentially, it synergizes again well with certain cards in this deck, and can ultimately lead to a lot of damage. Now, some that I maybe will try in the future, but I just don't want to craft the card at the moment. But it might work. So if you've got the card, if you've got this sort of deck, maybe worth giving it an experiment, and let me know how it goes down below. But yeah, they're probably the cards I'd change. I think this deck's good. Like I said earlier, the Scoia'Tael probably works better with Boost or Mulligan, but I don't think even movement's going to be that bad if you make a good few changes to the deck. Now I'm going to take you into the game of the deck and show you how it performs and some of the decisions you might want to make.
We do what must be done. My folk have suffered much.
So we have a Francesca Mirror. Now, first things first, you are going to want to, if you get more than 1 Blue Mountain Commando, Mulligan them away. We only need 1, because he's going to pull the rest from the deck. That does mean, however...
and learn.
Oh, great. We have to worry about getting 1 in hand. Dudu's rubbish, I'll get rid of him. Some Chive's nice to have, say Synthesis, Geralt, nice to have. Cleaver's decent. Barkley Owls and Scorch aren't really that useful right now. Okay, we don't want that either. Great. Hogger Healer. Elven War Dancer. So we're playing against Mulligan Francesca, which I really shouldn't be surprised about, to be honest. So this should be interesting.
No mercy!
Nice. Isengrim's probably going to be playing, what, Morin? Or is that going to be Teruvial? Either way, I'm not taking a chance. Oh, it is Morin. God damn it.
They'll not leave here alive.
That's annoying. If it was Teruvial, we lock it. It stops being ambush, doesn't get its effect, right? So it was probably beneficial to do that and get it out the way early on. Even if I did want to play the Blue Mountain Commandos, I was going to lose one of them straight away, so I didn't really want to do that. I also have Dwarven Mercenaries to move them around. Well, a Dwarven Mercenary to move it around, so that's not bad. Doblathana Archers aren't really that useful, and nor are Hawk Healers, but they're going to do something, right? Mulligan a card. Oh, great. He drew... As if he drew Geralt. Like, that is ridiculous. Oh, no, he mulliganed away Geralt. They changed that card, didn't they? Well, sorry. Just get rid of that. Probably the best value Scorch is going to get all game.
Vryaed!
Vryaed! Okay. Now I think we can get our Blue Mountain Commandos out.
Ha! Ha!
Okay, he's passed early there. If I play him, so there's 8 points. He also strengthens 3 by 2, so that's 14 points, and these all get boosted, so this is actually going to get us around, so that's pretty useful. I'm willing to lose 1 card advantage to take that round, like that's a big point swing, so that's why I have Zoltan Chive in this deck. He was probably thinking he's going to get 2 card advantage on me there, but ultimately Zoltan's screwed him over. What cards am I looking for here? I want more of them. So, I think I'm going to get rid of the Commander's Horn. Because out of all of these, I don't think it's the most useful card in the world.
Watch
Yeah,
and learn.
Great, another Elven War Dancer. What do I go with here? I had to play I think I played Geralt just to get him out of the hand, get some points on the board. Then I'm hoping he underplays me so now I can pass and he loses his card advantage. That's what happens in an ideal world. Oh. I guess that's the end of that one. Let's have another game.
Men of Kedwen, attack!
We do what must be done.
Okay, Northern Realms. This isn't ideal, I must admit. So, do not have any of the cards I want, really. So on Chive, so Center is good. Battle card, you're close to going. Kind of on your worse. Rear Brigade, probably not going to be that useful against this guy. I'm going to get rid of him. Marksmen are fine. Decoy could be okay. I'm going to get rid of the other Rear Brigade as well. Great. Ultimately, we have Mulligan really badly here.
Salutations.
Okay, 20 siege support. Try and lock it, I guess, with Barkley.
I've got to get this stinking mess in order.
Now we must stick together.
So we're trying to get the cleaver there, but ultimately we're going to end up with not being able to lock him. Reinforced Trebuchet is really annoying also. We pass, we get 2 card advantage. He does 1 damage. He can't pass, otherwise we both get the round, right? And I still have card advantage. So I feel like that's probably an optimal play. So, we both get around now. This makes it a bit more interesting. Geralt, good card to have. 12% Archer, I guess better than Doodoo, right? Just Marigold. Why can I not pull the cards I need? I have all my golds in hand. I might Mulligan. What can I Mulligan away? I might Mulligan a Dolblethan at Archer away, actually. Oh, that's decoy.
My folk have suffered much.
Dolblethan at Archer, and I'm going to grab one of the Blue Mountain Commandos. Now I'm going to be able to play them, and then Scoia'Tael is going to move them. I'm going to play heavy into... Well, I've got to play heavy into this round, right?
On order.
Trollolol, that's really annoying. Choose Marigold. I'm trying to work out what the best play here is. And ultimately, I think I'm going to have to just focus on my own game. Dolblethan Archer will wipe out his armor. I mean, that's useful, obviously. Triss Marigold's going to do the same. Let's play Triss. Basically, I don't want Trollolol getting up too much armor because he's just going to eat it with one of the... is it Redanian Knight? One of the cards that eats the armor. That's all I know.
How about a game of Gwent?
Okay, Priscilla. Boost random ally by 3 and decrease the counter. Okay, Priscilla's a good card. Best play here. Like, I don't feel like I can counter him at all. We have movement, which is good if he plays like Redanian Knight Elects. However, I'm going to play the Blue Mountain Commando.
Death awaits us all.
It's a shame it doesn't boost all 3 of them. And there's nothing I can do about that Priscilla, right? Now I can do 4 damage to it, and it has, what, 5 health left.
Not your lucky day.
Geralt, okay, whatever, isn't it? Dolbleth and a marksman. I could bring you out. Zoltan Chive power play with these is obviously always a possibility. Hawker Healer's also okay.
Oh, my little.
I'm going to save the tempo play for hopefully when he thinks he's won. I'm hoping he doesn't sack these off. Okay, lots of armor for everyone. Oh, Scorch, how I need you right now. Or Geralt Igni, yeah, that'd be ideal. Fortunately, that's just not going to happen, though, is it? So I was just checking that wasn't adjacent ally, because otherwise I could move it. I could have moved it, and that'd have been a massive misplay. I'm going to get the archer out, I guess. I mean, it isn't actually going to do any damage, but it's whatever. I have a strong feeling we are probably not going to win this game. We're against a guy who's built a very expensive deck. Okay. 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 This is not ideal. So I want to be decoying. To be honest with you, I don't really know why I would decoy. Probably the Hawker Healer. It's what, 6 points extra, right? Yeah. I might just do that now. Why not?
Oh my.
And then we're going to boost you. I mean, he can't Scorch. I'm just trying to make sure he can't Geralt Igni me. So you do by 3, so that would not be enough. Perfect. Jesus Christ. It's Dunban heavy cavalry is what eats the armor. Oh, doo-doo. Doo-doo. Nobody expects to doo-doo. Dwarven mercenaries. So I want to play these after I've played Zoltan Chive. This is what the only way to do actual damage. Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to play these after I've played Zoltan Chive, so I can move these again, because these are the guys that are going to benefit the most from being moved. He does 2 damage, whereas these will gain 2, so... Okay, he hasn't got any machines in his hand. I guess that's always a positive. I want to play Say Synthesis after I've played these 3 to get the most value. Geralt I can play now, I guess. I have just given 2 Igniros now if he wants them though. Are you going to play 2 more Reinforced Siege Towers by any chance? There they are. Beautiful! Keep going. Oh, this is why one of the possible additions to this deck would have been Marigold's Hailstorm? Yeah, Marigold's Hailstorm. So, Zoltan Chive, I guess I'm going to have to play you now, right?
Always willing, pal.
All 3 of you. Should put us ahead, but it's still going to be rough. Oh, not even ahead. Great. What is he going to do? Is this Toot by any chance? Come on, where's your horn? There it is. Marigold Hailstorm would be worth what? So you do half of the points total, so that's what, 56. Plus a point for every odd card, so 1, 2. Be 58 point swing with a Marigold Hailstorm right now. Instead I've just got to think about the hailstorms, because I'm not actually going to get any. Has he actually got a Dunbanny heavy cavalry or not? There we go. Oh, he's going to munch Trollalol's armor. Jesus Christ. The 30 point heavy cavalry. Nice. I mean, I think we've lost, but ultimately, I don't feel it's fair to judge the deck based on this game. So what you're going to be 1, 2, 3. So you're going to get. I'm going to be 13 say synthesis that does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great. GG. We got absolutely battered done, to be fair. I feel like, although we lost the game, it shows the potential the deck has, especially with some of the changes that I've made. So, ultimately, we played against the more developed deck, and I still did quite well, in my personal opinion. Like, we came close. The Hailstorm would have been absolute MVP, then we'd have wiped the floor with him. So, overall, good deck. I've played a few games with this now. I've had a couple of forfeits that I haven't included. We had the guy disconnect, obviously, which I did include. So, yeah, it's been really difficult to try and find games to upload for this like, to really showcase this deck. But hopefully, I've kind of showed you enough that's going to make the deck look okay to you guys. If you have any improvements, let me know down below. Obviously, I'm always open to them. There are probably cards I've completely missed that would synergize really well in this deck. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. So thank you ever so much for watching. I hope to see you all around, and I'll see you next time.